Well, there it is. The Edmonton Oilers lead the Los Angeles Kings in the series 3-1, following a 1-0 shutout at Crypto.com Arena. Hi, everybody. Welcome to the GCL Diesel Oil Stream Postgame Show, live on location at Hudson's White Avenue. Tom Gazzola, Shawn Belle with you here on location. Great night, great turnout. Big thank you to all the nasties who came out and had a great time for a late one. And we've got YouTube Trev holding things down back at ESTHQ. Don't talk to him because he sounds like he's going to die. His voice is gone. All right. Text us 780-218-9999 and then get into the nasty chat. I saw the nasty chat. It's been humming for a little while already. People super pumped up about that one. Bellsy, the Oilers get heavily outshot. They hold the fort. We saw desperate hockey from the LA Kings. And they get that one goal on the one power play opportunity, and that's all she wrote.
Skinner, 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 Skinner. That's what it was. We've been waiting all year for Skinner to show up. People have talked about it. We have. It's been almost to the point where it's ridiculous how much we talk about Skinner and all the different things that go on with the goaltending here in Edmonton. This man has come out and he's flat out earned it. He stole that victory today, and I feel so happy for that guy because he has given his heart and soul for this hockey team, and like I said, he stole a game today.
Yeah, finally, they goalied somebody. Can we say?
Goalied somebody.
They goalied somebody.
Skinner, 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 Skinner.
Let's get into the game summary and the stats from this one. You can text us 780-218-9999 and, of course, via the nasty chat. No scoring in the first period. In the second, at 11:49 on the power play, Evan Bouchard, the Bouch bomb from Leon Draisaitl and Connor McDavid beating David Riddick, who was good when he had to be. He only had to make 12 saves tonight. And the Oilers get the only goal of the game. No scoring in the third period as LA tried to break through, but they couldn't, even getting a power play. Skinner has some huge saves like Bellsy was alluding to. And then the defense, very stingy on this night. Shots on goal, 33-13 in favor of the LA Kings. Faceoffs, 54.2 for Edmonton to 45.8. The power play, 100% tonight, 1 for 1. PK, 1 for 1 as well. Edmonton is 11 for 11 in the series on the penalty kill, now 8 for 15 on the power play. Block shots, 20-17 in favor of the Oilers. Hits, 41 for LA, 27 for the Oilers. Giveaways officially, 6 to the Oilers, 3 to the Kings. Takeaways, 5 to Edmonton, 2 to LA. And Bellsy, that was a desperate LA Kings team that we watched all night long.
You knew exactly what they were going to do. DB talked about it in the pregame. You knew they were coming out. They were going to throw everything they possibly could at the Oilers. They did that in spades. I would say that was their A+ game.
Yeah.
The Oilers, they were stingy defensively. They kept the Kings to the outside for the most part. They clogged up the middle of the ice. I would really honestly say, if I was looking at the Oilers, I'd say that's probably a B+ effort. They were good.
Well, yeah, we were talking about it in the second intermission.
So I'm not taking away what they did.
Right.
They were good, but LA just played desperate hockey, which puts you at another level. And at the end of the day, Stewie, he came out and he dominated the game, which was great to see. They're coming back to Edmonton down 3-1, and you can very much think that the Oilers are going to throw everything at them now. So it was a great victory. I think it was a really good moral victory, too.
Yeah.
Understanding for Edmonton, and the reason why I bring this up is because, well, you know what? We don't need to play our best every single night. I don't need to give you our best A+ effort on the offensive standpoint. We can give you a B, but we can still lock it down defensively. And I think as you continue through the playoffs, that is a big piece of the puzzle. You're going to face teams potentially like Vegas. You're going to face teams potentially like Dallas, Colorado. You have to be able to lock it down.
Right.
And this is a great start for the Oilers, and I think it's very encouraging for them moving forward, knock on wood, in the playoffs.
780-218-9999, and then via the nasty chat, make sure you hit that thumbs up button. It is the GCL Diesel Oil Stream post-game show at Hudson's, White Avenue. Tom Gazzola, Shawn Belle with you. YouTube Trev back at EST HQ. Let us know your thoughts about the game. If I were to suggest they played smarter, not harder, you know, you listed it as like their B plus game, and then LA threw the A plus game at them. If I said they were smarter, not harder, not to say that they didn't play hard. The Oilers
they played a perfect road game,
but they weathered the storm, right?
Absolutely, they played the perfect road game. And when you're on the road, you don't need to make unnecessary chances or take unnecessary chances. You know, you have a play where you're outnumbered. Yeah. It's a 1-on-3, a 2-on-3. Well, you know what? All I want to do is just chip that puck in and live to fight another day, as opposed to, you know, potentially being at home and I'm like, I'm kind of feeling it. The crowd's going nuts. It's electric. And now I'm trying to, you know, maybe make that one extra move, do too much, and then it's a turnover. It goes back the other way. All they did today was just made the smart play every single time. They made sure that pucks that were out at both blue line or at their blue line, and then pucks were in at the opposing blue line. And as cliche as that sounds, it's really important in the playoffs that you make the LA Kings earn everything they get. Right. And that's exactly what they did. Yeah, LA had more shots. Yeah, they had more zone time. Yes, they had more possession. But man, did they have to earn it. They had to go through 5 guys to get to the net, and then you had Skinner back there who was making save after save after save and who was clearly feeling it. I was going to say to you, you talked about how they protected the house essentially. Any concern that they were okay with allowing the attack to come at them? If there's some out there, I haven't read the text just yet, I will get to those, but people going, hey, 33-13, that's a huge disparity in shots. But the way you explain it to me, it's like, yeah, but they didn't really give them a ton. The Oilers didn't give LA a ton. They didn't give them a ton, right? Like, it's, once again, like, they got to their blue line, and if it wasn't a clear-cut, you know, chance or an odd man rush, all they did was just chip it in. Right. And they said, okay, LA, like, pick up that puck, regroup, come through all of us in the neutral zone. We're going to clog it up, and we're going to go from there. And that's what you have to do that in playoffs. You have to make sure that it's hard. And yeah, they had 33 shots. I get that. Right. But at the end of the day, what they did was they were very smart defensively. They made it hard for LA to attack. They kind of played an LA style game. Very defensive. Very defensive. Right. Minus the 1-3-1, of course. Yeah. If you are looking at this from an LA Kings standpoint, you're in that Kings locker room on that team, you just tried everything you could, and you still ended up losing 1-0. What's the feeling from the Kings' point of view? Well, I think they're feeling a little bit down, but at the end of the day, the playoffs are the playoffs. And, you know, once again, I'm going to go into cliches with this, but all they're saying is, hey, we had a chance to win the game. It was, we outshot them 33-13. We feel pretty solid about our game. Yeah. So if we can now replicate that and we now bury the chances, we probably win. And then they'll say, okay, well, let's take it game by game, shift by shift. We got to win the shift. And then once you win the shift, the next line that goes out, let's win the next shift. And that's exactly what they're saying in the dressing room, because that's how everybody thinks about it. Yes, it's 3-1. Yes, it's hard, but it's not impossible. And there's been plenty of teams throughout history that have come down from 3-1. So they're going to try to regroup. They're going to try to make sure that they're in the right headspace. It's hard, and they know it's hard. But I think what needs to happen is when the Edmonton comes back to Edmonton, and that crowd is electric, and you come out and you're flying with that electric crowd. And right now we have 394 people in this chat. And when I say electric, I mean you guys need to be absolutely rowdy so that it's an uncomfortable place for them to play. This will be done. End of story. End of story. It's going to be desperate hockey. I'll say I have a question. I'm going to save it for later. 780-218-9999. Let's get to some of these texts because there's a lot of people watching and listening.
happy about Edmonton's 1-0 win in LA to take a 3-1 series lead. We call that a stranglehold. Colorado Rusty says, well, there it is, Oilers fans. We have a goalie who can steal a game. What a game by Skinner. After game 2, Bellsy, people were like, how about Calvin Pickard?
Oh, yeah.
No.
That's what it is.
Yes, let's go to Neil from Nanaimo. Says, for all those asking, but when will Skinner steal a game? There you go. Without him, they may lose that game. Solid performance. EA sends in a photo. What does he have? High heart rate. Your heart rate rose above 120 BPM while you seem to be inactive for 10 minutes, starting at 10:50. Oh, no.
She came from Calgary.
Chantel and Whitney and Kat, those EST glue guy. Okay.
Oh, man.
Happy Sunday.
Okay, well,
Sunday fun day.
Keep the limes. Because,
Okay. There we go. Corey B still here. He got his EST tattoo. Cheers. Chantel. Thank you.
Cheers.
Say hello to everybody.
Got to say hi to everybody.
There we go.
407 people
Come on
now.
in.
Cheers.
There we go. Where are we? Get in there. Cheers, everyone. All right. There is. Salute. That's what happens at Hudson's.
Woo. There you go. Thank you.
EST
Delicious.
Blue guys.
Round of clicks for Chantel.
Round of clicks for Chantel.
Round of clicks. There we
clicks.
go. There we go. Thank you.
Corey B.
Mix the corner.
All right. Love it. See? All the way from Calgary.
All the way from
A good night for sure. Thank you, Chantel. And Corey B, there he is. Beauty. Tequila. Let's go to Taco texting in.
Boy.
Everyone has bashed Skinner for not being the type of goalie that can steal a game. Well, not only did he do it, but he did it in a playoff game when the Oilers' offense wasn't clicking. The Oilers' offense not clicking. How would you break that down? Because, I mean, LA played – we talk about how desperate they were. They were hard on pucks. They were quick to pucks. Edmonton's offense, were you surprised the Oilers' offense wasn't able to make more happen? Or how would you read that?
They didn't necessarily have a ton of time and space. I mean, every single time they touched the puck, they were either getting hit or they had 2 or 3 guys on.
Right.
So, yeah, you're not necessarily going to be able to generate offense. But every single time you're in the playoffs, you just need to figure out what it's going to take to win.
Right.
And so you get on the power play, you have an unbelievable look where you know that they're going to look for that seam pass. Draisaitl kicks it back up to a boosh bomb. That's all they needed. In the playoffs, it's grown-up hockey. It's big boy hockey. It's locked down the middle of the ice.
Yep.
Everybody has to break in. We talked about it earlier about winning the quote-unquote house battles. And if you really look at it, well, Bouchard's shot was from the high slot, close to the blue line, but how much traffic was in front of the net?
It was busy in front.
It was busy.
And
so
a
you
couple
won the
of quick
house battle.
passes, yeah.
And everything that happened on the flip side, well, you kept them out of the middle of the ice. You kept them from getting those grade A chances inside the house.
Right.
They had chances, but everything was from the outside for the most part. So I think I'm not going to sit here and say, hey, you stymied the Oilers' offense, because I don't actually think that's true. I just think that the LA Kings played so desperate that they didn't really give the Oilers enough time and space to really get clicking. And once again, I also said earlier that I'm not necessarily sure the Oilers played their A+ hockey game.
You gave it a B plus?
I gave it a B+.
B+. All right. Hey, it still worked. A 1-0 Oilers victory. They get outshot 33-13. Stu Skinner. A lot of people heaping praise on him. Nice to see. And especially after that Game 2 loss in overtime where people saying, oh, boy, what's going on? 9 goals in 2 games. Well, he said those were lessons. He was going to learn from them, and it looks like that has happened. So, all right, let's go to some more texts. There's one from Matt Hatter, says those who wanted Skinner steal game can't get any better than that. LFG. Mike in Thunder Bay says tonight's game is brought to you by the letter S. S is for special teams. S is for Stuart Skinner. Shutout. S is also for sleepy time. Good night, Oil Country. Maybe I'll get to sleep in an hour when my blood pressure finally returns to normal.
Skinner.
Mike in Thunder Bay, who texted that in 20 minutes ago. So it's 1:13
Poor
Eastern.
guy.
Mike in Thunder Bay is, yeah, there you go. He's a nasty for sure out in Thunder Bay. This one comes in, says, boys, the Oilers beat them at their own game tonight. Team defense. I don't think the Kings had one odd man rush. Good point. Or really, really dangerous shot. I am almost more excited over a 1-0 win than a 7-1 win. A sign of maturation. We've been talking about the
100%.
maturation thing.
The maturation of this team. They went through the playoffs last year. They played against LA. LA's a stingy defensive team.
Yeah.
They went through them. Then all of a sudden you play the Vegas Golden Knights, who are the Cup champions or the eventual Cup champions. And what they do is they just keep coming at you wave after wave after wave. Whether they're up 5 or they're down 5, they do the exact same thing.
Right.
And that's one of the things that you have to do if you're the Oilers. You can't change the way that you play. And today, right now, they were stingy on the defensive end.
Yes.
They were opportunistic offensively with the goal that they scored on the power play.
Right.
You take a bad penalty, hey, it's in the back of your net because they have elite offensive talent. And that is a formula that you need to have moving forward in the playoffs. Not every single game, the Oilers' offense is not going to score. They had decent chances.
Yeah,
they had decent chances in the 13 that they got.
Right.
But for the most part, you knew that this was going to be one of the hardest games for the Oilers in this round.
I'm not going to lie to you, Belzy. I'm trying to think back to the chances that the Oilers had of their 13 chances, or shots, pardon me. The Bouchard shot goes in, okay?
Yep.
I think of Evander Kane with like a wraparound.
Corey Perry early.
And then one Leon Draisaitl in tight. Outside of that.
So that's 4 of 13 that were high grade A chances.
That were dangerous.
So that's actually pretty good odds right there. Or a pretty good percentage of shots. Considering how many you have.
Okay, JT texts in and says, excellent defensive effort. At no point did I feel the game wasn't in Edmonton's control. They wanted to win 1-0. So they did. This team is different this year. That's from JT. The Wolf, says Vinny and Skinny, Winnie. Randy. Okay, let's go to Randy. Randy had a lot to say here. You ready? Hello, Randy. Says, I'm an idiot for thinking, quote, they played the perfect road game, quote, unquote. Again, is a results-based narrative with cliche commentary only because they won. Good grief, they got outchanced heavily. Guys, let's say that like Vancouver. They scored with the goal he pulled, and then like Van scored in the first shot of OT. So nothing game-wise would have changed. Would that be the quote-unquote perfect road game? No. Did Nashville play the perfect home game for 59 minutes? Why does that change for a lucky bounce and a coin flip in OT? Because it's just low-hanging fruit with cliches. I think you two are better than that. I still listen to you guys, but it's so frustrating to hear pandering to home fans' viewer point. Still glad to hear you guys, and happy for you boys winning. Randy, I just went from midnight to 6 reading that text.
Oh, baby.
Come on, Randy. They played a hard game. They had everything. What did you say in the second intermission? Like they're having the kitchen sink and then some thrown at them. It's okay to enjoy what the Oilers were able to do tonight because they had to play a different game out of their comfort zone, and they still managed to win. Let's acknowledge that.
Out of pure curiosity, how many grade A chances did LA have, do you think?
I think maybe 3 or 4.
So 3 or 4 out of 33 shots, and on the flip side, you had 3 or 4 out of 13 shots. That means you're locked down defensively, and teams they're not getting what they want.
Right.
You at the end of the day, I love the passion of the Oilers fans. But here's some reality. There's 2 teams that play.
Yeah.
And I know that the Oilers should win every single game. I get that. And we should trounce everybody. Should smack them around. But at the end of the day, LA is also here. They showed up today and they said, we don't want to lose.
Yes.
And so they went out and they played the most desperate hockey game they possibly could. And they limited Oiler chances, and they hit them at every single turn. They played a little bit of clutch and grab. It was a greasy hockey game, and you have to be excited as an Oiler fan because you went in, you took their hardest punch, and you walked away a winner. You took their hardest punch, and you said, hey, what do you want? You didn't do anything. We still won the game.
Yeah.
And I'm pretty sure you sit there and you say, okay, well, did I win or lose? And am I up 3-1? Let's be happy.
You won, and you're up 3-1. Keep those texts coming in, 780-218-9999. The Oilers win 1-0 over the LA Kings in Game 4 to take a 3-1 series lead. It's a stranglehold. They do get outshot 33-13, but like Belzy said, they were protecting the middle and gave up four or five grade A chances in Edmonton of their 13 shots, probably 4 dangerous ones that we could count from the top of our mind. All right, let's get to a couple more here. Calgary Glenn says, that was the most exciting and stressful one-goal game I've ever watched. Skinner stood on his head and was the difference. Power play stays hot. 3 6-o'clocker loggers down. 13 more to go. Hashtag Oilers. Hashtag Let's Go Oilers. Do you see this?
I do see that.
That's pretty awesome. Good, hey?
Yeah.
All right, next text. KL says, wow, great win, boys. The Oilers just out LA'd LA. They just got the lead and clogged up the neutral zone, dumped it in every chance they got. This is what we haven't seen with the Oil in the previous playoffs. Being able to defend and fall back on their defensive system when they aren't playing well. Impressed with their stick work today. Lots of sticks and lanes today. Lots of hustle. Lots of sacrificing the body,
100%.
Belzy.
The Oilers before, in previous playoff runs, would have lost that game.
Absolutely,
they would have found a way to lose that game. And we've all talked about maturation, experience, whatever you want. But at the end of the day, today they came out and they won.
Right.
And if you're in the playoffs, does't matter if you played your best game.
Which
all
they
that
did.
matters is that you win. And we've already acknowledged the fact that wasn't their A plus game. This wasn't their A game. This wasn't their A minus game. This was their B plus game. They were perfectly fine. They didn't make mistakes. But you had an LA team that was desperate.
Yep.
That is what it was. That's just facts.
All right, let's go back inside the inbox, 780-218-9999. What's going on with the nasty chat? Wow, that thing is humming along.
It is hot
I can't even see what it's saying. In the inbox, Dirty Curdy has one here. His breakdown says, Skinner with a massive steal, Desharnais and the Viking beasts in the lanes. Credit the Queens for the effort. The Kings, obviously. Oil cannot mess with this mojo. End it decisively Wednesday. Didn't like some of the vet forwards' weak plays on TOs in the D zone, turnovers on the D zone, Nugent, Henrique. However, the layers of defense was apparent overall, a mature, grinding defensive game, and Bouchard with the dagger. That's from Dirty Curdy. A guy like Vinny Desharnais, there was a lot of question marks about it. People were saying, hey, play Troy Stecher. There were people, Belzy, that were saying, play Troy Stecher instead of Cody Ceci. I'm not seeing any of that tonight.
Well, at the end of the day, Vinny Desharnais fills a role for the Oilers, and that role is to be a defensive juggernaut, so to speak. I mean, he's not coming in. You're not bringing Vinny Desharnais in to score a power play goal, to essentially move pucks. You're bringing him in to lock it down. He's a big guy that can defend. He's mean. He's developing a meaner streak, and for him today, he was very steady. He didn't give away pucks. He was positionally sound. His 6 foot, what is he, 6'7"?
7, yeah.
So he has a 6 foot. He's 6'7", but when you extend that stick and you go stick on puck, you're like 12 feet. It's like Zdeno Chara, and why guys were always having fits and they would go to the opposite side of the ice with Chara. I'm not saying that Desharnais is Chara, but what I'm saying is that because he was so positionally sound and he had such a good stick, he made it really hard for guys to get around him.
Yeah.
Right? And he played the proper angles, which we've talked about before, is that for defensemen, especially young defensemen or guys that are inexperienced in the NHL, they run around, they chase players. But as you gain more experience, you find the right angles. Even if you decide to get beat, well, now I'm just going to go back to the post. I'm going to change that angle. I'm going to use my stick. And now it's really hard for that player to get around me. So Vinny Desharnais was fantastic. It was good to see kind of where he's gone. But once again, you bring him in to lock it down defensively. And there's no shots at Troy Stecher, but he wouldn't have been able to do what Vinny did today.
No, well, Troy Stecher is about 8 or 9 inches smaller than Vinny Desharnais. Desharnais, if you're wondering, the stat line, 17-21 time on ice. He had 4 attempts blocked. See ya. There goes my brother. Bye, guys. See you. Thanks for coming out. Desharnais, 4 attempts blocked, 1 hit, 1 giveaway, 2 block shots, 17-21 time on ice. And on the PK tonight, he had 50 seconds of work. So just hard-working shift all around for the defense, and then Vinny Desharnais in particular. All right. YouTube Trev, let us know if you have any clips. 780-218-9999. You can text us. The Oilers win it 1-0 in Game 4 to take a 3-1 series lead. I do need to add that portions of this hour brought to you by Edmonton's Best Rock 100.3. The Bear. Catch Dusty Nielsen every weekday morning with Yukon Jack and Scott McCord. And then on your drive home, tune into Jess Jackson every afternoon. What do you got? Read it. Go ahead.
This might be the text of the night.
Okay, go ahead.
No fans doing the wave equals no blown lead. Science.
Oh, gosh. I love that.
Yeah, that one's good.
Hampton Steve texting, it says, amazing game by Skinner. Strong defensive effort all around. Remember when people are freaking out going into the weekend, what a difference 3 days can make. Yes, especially around these parts. I'm not surprised, having covered this team 17 seasons now, Belsey. Oh, man, we're getting old. Justin of Balgoni says, I should have never doubted Stu Skinner. Play La Bamba, baby. C-Mac with, he sent the photo in. Oh, yeah, there's the cheers. Shaggy and St. Albert. Here we go. Shaggy and St. Albert going into the playoffs said, Oilers put up or shut up. So, so far they've put up. And Shaggy and St. Albert says, Skinner stole that game. Oilers did not make big save Dave work that hard. Got outplayed most of the game. Oilers went into the defensive shell in the third. Could have backfired big time if the Kings had tied it. Oilers only had 13 shots in the whole game, but Skinner got the shutout and would consider that a statement game for Skinner. Game he played good, but not spectacular. Tonight, he won this game for the Oilers. As a well-known wise man, Cass would say, a win is a win, even if it was ugly. Now, hopefully they end it with Game 5. This team does have an issue with complacency. Can either completely destroy Kings in Game 5 or show up with a dud and make it harder on themselves with having to go back to LA. I asked you about that on the pregame show. Edmonton being too comfortable, satisfied with its performance the prior game. Were you worried about it? You weren't that concerned about it.
I wasn't concerned at any point today because, once again, they limited chances. And when you have to break through multiple layers, so you beat one guy in the defensive zone, and all of a sudden here's your second layer, and you've got to now try to beat this guy, it's hard to play against. Yeah. And, you know, for everything that we're talking about with the Oilers, where they didn't have their A-plus game or their best game, they did a fantastic job of limiting grade A chances. You knew that Stuart Skinner was feeling it in net.
Yep.
Which is fantastic. So now we sit here, we say, okay, well, let's not give up grade A's. Let them shoot from the outside, because if they shoot from outside and our goalie's feeling it, that should never go in.
Right.
Most goaltenders in the NHL, if you shoot from, I don't know, let's say outside of the house, you're not scoring on them. Unless there's traffic in front of the net.
Right.
So the Oilers had traffic in front of the net. They blocked a ton of shots. And the ones that did go were usually from outside the house. And so Skinner just literally grabbed the puck and said, oh, look what I found. You want that back? Here you go. See you later.
There you go. In a nutshell. I saw some nasty chats where, yeah, I saw this one. Perry plays hard, says Simple 101. McLeod is fast. So what? You guys, are they fighting with each other in the nasty chat? James says, how about Henrique patiently taking the puck to the corner to calm things down with the Kings desperately pressuring the paint? He is really calm when the team needs him to be. The addition of Adam Henrique, he has added some offensive jam, Belsey, but what else has he provided from what you've seen?
He's added experience. He's kind of been there. He's been in a long playoff run before. He's a veteran guy. He understands that we don't need to panic in situations where a team's throwing the kitchen sink at us. He takes the puck to the corner. He tries to scrum it up because he knows that if I scrum this puck up right now and I do a good job of it, I could kill 10, 15, 20 seconds. Maybe I get a whistle for us to regroup. I don't need to just take this puck and panic and try to throw it up the middle of the ice, which could be a turnover. And now all of a sudden, LA's got a grade A scoring chance in the middle of the ice. He decided, okay, well, I'm going to be smart about this. And this is kind of the point, is that, they didn't have their stuff. But the plays that they made were very smart, and they were very they were savvy. They were savvy plays.
Bye, ladies. Be safe. We're going to parties at Greta. Okay, after the show. That's Chantel, Kat, and Whitney that came all the way up for the EST watch party from Calgary.
Yeah,
and I think they had a good time.
I think so too.
Parties at Greta, they said.
Yeah.
Parties at Greta.
Yeah.
All right. Simple one of us is just discussing, Tom. We're all kumbaya. In the nasty chat.
That's good.
In the
That's what
nasty
we
chat.
need.
Finally. Everybody love everybody. As well-known Kings fan Will Ferrell said in Semi-Pro.
Night Shift Al said, where's Cass? Well, he's hibernating right now.
Cass
that grizzly bear is hibernating.
So it was the Alzheimer's face-off weekend.
Yep.
Which is a great event. Raises usually they're over $100,000 or more for Alzheimer's, and that was this weekend. A lot of those guys need the rest. Let's just put it that way. They play hard on the ice and off the ice every Alzheimer's weekend, right? You've been a part of a lot of those. So
100%.
So Cass was part of that. I texted this morning. I said, "You good?" He said, "No, I am not good." Dusty was here at the watch party. Dusty's voice gone. Hopefully he has his tea and whatever he needs tonight, and then is good to go by 6 a.m. tomorrow on the Nielsen Show. That's going to be a rowdy morning show for sure. And then Lieutenant Eric walked here from
Did he really?
West Ed.
Oh, my God.
I know. LTE, just an absolute beauty. He's our madman. But, those guys, that weekend, the Alzheimer's face-off is a great event. And then Belsey was good to go. You were scouting all weekend. You came back, did Hello Hockey, and you're good to go for tonight. Fantastic work as always from Belsey. Plastic Cheese Texan says, is it safe to say that Skinner goalied the Kings tonight?
Absolutely.
Yes, absolutely. There they are. Oh, there they are. Yes.
I thought he was really good tonight. I mean, he was solid. He wasn't he wasn't all over the crease. He was very calm. He did a lot of really good things. He swallowed up rebounds. He made big saves when he needed to. That's what you want from your goaltenders in the playoff.
Your boy, Barron. Sweet Lord, I had to celebrate quietly as the wife and baby slept. Thankfully, Oilers won, or my swearing would have gotten me in trouble. Our boy, Barron. Well done, sir. Well done. Liquid Beaver says, nice win. Solid game by Stu. That should zipper some naysayers up. Question, it seemed like the Oil didn't force a forecheck all game. What changed from previous games? That's from
Nothing changed.
Beaver.
They were under duress at every point, and they said, we don't want to give this team a chance. We're going to chip pucks in deep when we have the opportunity. If it's not a clear-cut 3-on-2, if we're at our zone, like at our blue, we're just going to chip pucks out. We're going to make you regroup, and we're going to try to make you come 200 feet every single time, because we know that that's hard to play against, right? Like, you have Doughty regrouping puck after puck after puck. Well, it becomes kind of boring after a while, and it becomes hard because we're going to forecheck, but you've now got to break through all of our guys. It's hard hockey. It's playoff hockey. You don't give people an inch for any reason, and you have to make them earn it, and that's exactly what happened.
Let's go to this one out of Calgary. It says, Tommy, what a demoralizing game for the Kings. Threw everything they could at the Oil, but still end up losing, even concerning the shot total. I was really impressed how the Oil played in the D zone. Lots of one-and-done shots, good box outs, great team rebound control, not too many high-danger chances. That is how you steal a playoff game.
100%.
Pat in the county says, sounds like Belsey's ready to start the wave. Am I right, Skinner? You do not want to start. Well, you can do the wave now.
You can do No,
just no more wave.
No more wave.
No more wave. All right. Library Pat. Library Pat says, there were tons of games during the season where I was mad, pissed off that they couldn't preserve the shutout, but I'm okay with them leaving it for today. What a defensive performance. GJ on D says, masterpiece or madness by Coach Nobby. I'll take the win. Love to see Skinner by the be the MVP of this game. Let's take it on Wednesday. RBM says, absolute clinic defensively. I thought game 1 or 3 was my favorite so far because they were fun, but I'm telling you, this was my favorite game because of how they shut down the grade A plus chances against. Hell, they even shut down the grade A shots against this too. This is what you have to do to go all the way. This game right here, not taking anything from Skinner either, as he was outstanding, but he was bought in just like the rest of the team. Love it, RBM. And yes, I gave you all a thumbs up on YouTube. Thank you, RBM. We appreciate it. Ontario Moms hitting us with the sport logic. Had high danger chances, 7-4 for the Oilers.
Yeah.
That was classic. T-Max, Sutter Hockey, kicks 3 down with shots from everywhere, leading to nothing. Hiller went into Grandpa's trunk for that one. So that's kind of what we were saying. Like,
yeah,
we counted 4 for Edmonton and about 4 for LA. Sport Logic had it at 7-4. Thank you, Ontario Moments, for sending that our way.
Basically, every single chance that the Oilers got, more than 50% of it
of their shots
were grade A chances, and then 4 of 33 for the Los Angeles Kings.
Yeah,
that's exactly what you want when you're putting on a clinic defensively. Once again, I don't think the Oilers played their best game. I have not said that.
No.
But what I did say is that they limited chances. They made LA earn it. They had to regroup, or they had to come 200 feet almost every single time. And then when they did, there was enough layers in the Oilers' defense that they made it really hard, and they stymied the offense of the Kings.
That's got to be, if you're the Kings, that's got to be a frustrating type of game where you're trying everything, you're desperate, you're like a dog on a bone, but you're still getting nowhere. Or you can see the end point, but you can't get there, and when you do, it's not a good look. That would be such a frustrating game. Okay, I'll finally ask it to you. I held this question off from asking it because I didn't really want to go there after the 6-1 win. Mm-hmm. But after this game tonight, like, are the Kings broken now?
In what sense? Like, as a team that's ready to be done?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's essentially yes.
Well, I would say that there's always a few passengers. If you look at the Kings, we don't need to mention who their passengers are.
Well, we talked about our pregame show.
We did. And I think there's a bunch of guys that have pride. They get paid to play hockey. They want to make sure that they're not going to lose to the Oilers. And you're going to have a bunch of guys that are going to come in that are going to, once again, give you that kitchen sink. And keep going back to that analogy.
Right.
But then there's going to be a few guys that are on the fence. And if it's too hard, they might sway and they might quit. And so do I think the Kings are broken? Not necessarily. But I do think that if the Oilers come out on Wednesday and they come out with their best effort, like what we kind of talked about in Game Changers, the first 10 minutes is massive. It's huge.
Right.
Come out. Have the Oiler fans being electric and it's deafening. Well, now all of a sudden this becomes a daunting task. You got an Oiler team that's feeling it on the ice. They're coming out hard. You got the fans that are backing it, that are making it a hostile environment. That, like, I can't explain in words how hard that is.
Right.
It's something that every player could tell you about, the fact that home ice matters and what the fans do matter. And the best way I can explain it is that if you're an opposing player and you know that a team is just coming at you wave after wave after wave, you're like, man, this is hard. But then every single time you get you get a puck and the fans are just giving it to you and it's unrelenting, it's too much. It's too much. And if that's a situation where the LA comes into on Wednesday,
yep.
Well, the Oilers score first, it's over.
All right, we need to get to the Christopher Boyle big save of the game, presented by Christopher Boyle, who strategically works with both businesses and families on strategic planning and risk management, like a goalie protecting the net, like a Stu Skinner protecting the net. shielding your paycheck from unforeseen events like illness or hospitalization, and ensuring your family's financial stability in the face of unexpected circumstances. Belsey, usually YouTube Trev does this, but he's working on audio and video clips from the game tonight. And I'm pretty sure it was Victor Arvidsson. It was like a one-timer on the power play where Stu Skinner sprawled out. Nice save. That is the Christopher Boyle big save of the game. Were there any 100%. Other ones that stand out to you?
No. I just thought he was solid. He made a couple big saves. I think that is the one that we should go with.
Yeah.
It's a fantastic save. He there was a couple opportunities where they had a chance to get back in the game, but he just said, nope, not today.
Not tonight. There you go. That's your Christopher Boyle big save of the game. As we roll along here, there's lots of text coming in. Nasty Chat continues to go strong. Hit that thumbs up on your way in. Lots of people in the Nasty Chat going back and forth. Let's go back to the inbox. Trev will let me know when there's audio ready to go, and we'll react from that. Andy Pandy says, tremendous from Skinner. Oilers goalie the Kings. That might have been Draisaitl's best defensive game as an Oiler. Massive games for Desharnais, Ekholm, and Bouchard. Fourth line played hard and smart. Ryan from Saskatchewan says, gotta love that one for Stu. Greasy road wins are absolutely necessary in the playoffs. Capitalize on their opportunity. Held on for dear life most of the night. Not their best work, but found a way. Get it done Wednesday at home. Right on. Collingwood Rob says, Tom, great win. They kept their composure. Greasy road wins are absolutely necessary in the playoffs. Capitalized on their opportunity and held on for dear life most of the night. Let's go to Corn Chip Crunch. Interference doesn't exist against the Edmonton Oilers. That's all he had to say. It's her birthday. What's her name? Andrea. Happy birthday. Andrea Flynn.
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday. All right. Nice. Here. Take one of those. Happy birthday from us. There we go. Corn Chip. Russian Spa Guy says, super mature game. Chances didn't seem super high quality. If they play like that against Vegas last year, maybe it's different. Spency 5 cents. He says 13 shots is all you need with Big Stu and net. Let's go Oilers. And then Sheldon says the Oilers played a mature, disciplined, tight defensive road game. LA had more shots and ozone time, but they didn't get to the slots and they didn't get to the front of the net. Every rebound was directed away by Stu or cleared by the D. The Oilers owned the middle of the ice and the net front and defended unbelievably. Love to see sexy Stu get his first playoff shutty. Sheldon. Oh, he's sexy Stu now.
Yeah, sexy Stu. I like it.
All right. I don't know if anybody's calling this next guy sexy, but they might call him a rat. He's your old teammate, Corey Perry. Here he is following Edmonton's 1-0 blanking of the LA Kings in Game 4.
That was that's a yes, I guess. Absolutely.
Is that your style of game or what?
Oh, man. That was, we didn't have too many shots, but it was defensively, we kept a lot to the outside. They had some shots, but, I thought our D did a heck of a job in front of Stu, clearing pucks and eliminating second opportunities. So it was great.
Everyone talks about the offense on this team. Is this kind of the banner defensive night for this squad?
I think so. It's playoffs. These are the types of games you have to win in the playoffs. It's not going to be 6-5, 7-4 every night. It's you're going to have to dig deep and play defense and grind one out. And we found a way tonight.
Just a thought on Stu's play today. He makes some big saves for you, especially when they came at you hard in the first period.
Absolutely. We knew they were going to have a push, but Stu's did what he's done all season, and he's a rock back there, and we fed off that.
It's kind of a tough start to the series for him. Maybe not all his fault, but he did a lot of weird bounces in those games. But the last 2 games, it just seems like he's really turned it around. Have you kind of found that?
Absolutely. There's some weird ones in the first 2 at home. But you can say they created those opportunities. But at the same time, we knew that he's back there. He's ready to play each and every night, and he showed tonight.
When you come into LA and win both of them, that's obviously it's the plan. But what does that do for sort of the series, your confidence, and maybe the other team's confidence?
Well, it's huge for us. Coming in and taking 2 here and having an opportunity to go home. it's a good feeling, and it's not an easy building to play in, and let alone get a win here. They're very good and stingy at home, and we found a way the last 2 games.
How's the ice tonight?
It was ice.
Playoff hockey.
It's a warm building to play in, that's for sure.
Okay, there's Corey Perry. He's the ice thing. I'm sure you dealt with a lot of interesting buildings that shared basketball and hockey. What was he saying without saying there?
No, the ice wasn't good.
Yeah.
Soft,
Bouncy?
bouncy.
Yeah. There you go. The other thing, too, they go in and they beat the Kings in LA 2 times in a row.
Which is very tough to do.
That's huge.
Yep, very
That's
tough to
huge.
do. But once again, it goes back to, to what we've talked about. In years past, the Oilers lose that hockey game. And so all they've done is that they've learned from their previous errors, I guess.
Yeah.
And they figured out a way, like, we just got to be solid defensively, and we'll make teams work for it. And that's exactly what Perry mentioned. He's like, we had a goaltender that was feeling it, and you're not going to have your best effort every single night. But you have to find a way to win, and that's what it's going to be in the playoffs moving forward. Teams are going to dominate. Teams are going to push. How do you win those 4 games out of the 7? Here in 7.
I like that they're starting to show more of an ability to adapt to different types of games as opposed to having to go run and gun, lighting it up. They can lock it down.
You put a lot of stress on yourself when you have to try to go run and gun every single night.
Because you know that's the only way you can win.
Exactly. When you have to push for offense every single time, that's a lot of stress on yourself. And you don't necessarily need that. So to be able to understand that, hey, we can lock this thing down defensively, that's big. That to me is a massive win, for the Oilers. And it's a mental thing at that point. So now we can win any single way you want. We can play physical.
Reminds me of Colorado in the Western Conference Final 2 years ago against the Oilers, where the Oilers tried little subtle changes to their game, and it didn't work. Colorado had an answer to everything.
It did not matter what the Oilers did in that series. Yeah. Colorado said, we're good.
Well, maybe
we're going to answer it. And this is what you want for the Oilers. You want to be able to understand that, hey, teams can make adjustments. That's great, but we're still winning this hockey game. Whether it's 1-0, whether it's 6-1, whether it's 5-2, it doesn't matter. We're winning this hockey game. And that's what you're seeing from the Oilers. The mental side of the game is a massive piece of it. And these guys I don't know what changed when they were in that massive losing streak at the start of the year. Knoblauch comes in, all of a sudden, boom, they're clicking, and they just say, you know what? It doesn't matter. We play the way that we can play. We don't change. We're unflappable. It's like a steel trap mentally, and we just keep rolling, and that's exactly what it is.
Kudos to them for doing that, because Belsey, it was god-awful up until November 9th. It was so bad.
It was grim.
So bad. All right, Matias Ekholm spoke to the media. Let's go to him down in L.A.
Having to win games along the way that aren't smooth sailing and where it's not the perfect game for your team. Does this fit in as one of those?
Yeah, I think so. I'm a smart man, right?
Oh, yeah. Predicted the whole thing.
No, it's all jokes aside, that's exactly what that is, right? Like, sometimes it's not going to be your 7 for, well, it's been 4, 5, 6, 7 goals, 4, and it's a real strength of ours, showing we can win games this way. And again, Stu was great. I thought our team defense was good. They had obviously more shots than us, but I thought we limited the chances that were quality grade A's. I'm not sure. I'm sure there's some stat for that, but I didn't feel like they had those unbelievable looks in front of our goaltender, which was good. So I completely agree with you. This is one of those you have to squeak them out.
Just a thought on your goaltender, because he got off to a rough start. You guys, pucks were going in off skates past him, but just the way he rebounded and just the way he played today.
Yeah, no, it felt like we got away, or not got away. I felt like early on we just kind of got a lot of them, and hopefully all of them, because it seemed to be a lot better lately with the puck luck in that regard. So I thought he was unbelievable. I think he has shown that he's taken steps as a goaltender as well. I think he's way calmer. I think he's positionally very sound right now, and you have to really make a good play to beat him right now, which is obviously a great feeling for us, knowing that he's the backbone of our team.
What do you see in the difference maybe in his demeanor and things from this year from last year? Because last year he was kind of rookie thrown into the mix. This year he was kind of the guy all the way.
Yeah, I think he's taken it. I mean, obviously early on it was back and forth, but as soon as he gripped onto it and kind of realized, okay, I'm the guy, he's just been running with it all year. He's been great for us. I think he's showing it game in and game out, and as any goaltender, they're going to have an off night, but I think his biggest strength is the way he rebounds after those nights, and that's, in my opinion, a sign of a really, really good goaltender. You can't always control 82 games in playoffs and be on the top of your game every night, but you can always control how you rebound and how you respond to those games, and I think that's a strength of his.
The players like you and Vinny and maybe Cody and Darnell, do you guys like these games maybe more than a 6-5 game? Is this kind of like what you're built for, so to speak, as a defenseman?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, no, I mean, these are, you can tell too on the bench after you have a couple periods of, okay, we're playing good defense. Guys kind of galvanized around that too, and they're just like, okay, we're just going to have one of those nights tonight. And obviously us on the back end, that's how we want to play the game. But it's fun to score goals as well, and that's a great part of the game. But sometimes you have to do these. And again, I think having on our, or I guess in our portfolio, that we can play a lot of different games is going to be huge here and coming down the stretch. And again, I thought we showed it tonight that, yeah, these games, we're not afraid of them.
When you think about the series that Vinny had, a couple of, against Los Angeles last year, a couple of moments that he didn't like, and you kind of helped him through that. Can you think about how far he's come now and how big of a game he had tonight?
I mean, I think he's been great all year, to be honest with you. You can tell kind of the same things that I said about Stu. It's the calmness, it's the demeanor, it's, you can't really, obviously you can see it on the ice, but you can also see it in the way they act. They're more calm, they've been through it, it's experience. It's not a ton of experience, it's just a year, but in the beginning of your career, it makes wonders for you, and I remember myself too. I mean, from year 1 to year 2, it's a huge difference. So you can tell they're almost like they're a little, just an inch taller, right? Like they just chest out, and I think Vinny has been one of our, if not the best D-man we've had so far this series.
I'm sure he needs to grow another inch.
Yeah, no, he's tall enough, I guess.
Talk about the consistency of the defensive structure. It seemed like emotionally guys were very even keel out there as well. How much of that is a reflection of Coach Knobloch? He seems like a guy doesn't really get his heart rate up much on the bench.
Yeah, he's a big part of that, absolutely. And I feel like throughout the season we've shown that when we do stay calm, we tend to play better as a team as well. And the times we get rallied up or you yell at the refs or this and that, usually we get off script and it doesn't go our way. So I think the guys have seen that. We've rallied around it, and I think we're trying to stay as calm as we can on the bench, and he helps us out in that regard in a big way.
There's Matias Ekholm, some good stuff there, talking about the defensive performance by the Oilers tonight, giving some high praise to his goaltender for sure. Nasty Chat's going strong. You know what? Pretty positive overall. Some interesting takes out there today.
Yep.
Some interesting. I don't know if I'd agree with all of them, but interesting nonetheless.
Yeah, I wouldn't agree with some of them for sure. But hey, you're allowed to have an opinion.
That's the beauty of this.
And at the end of the day, sports are sports. There's 2 teams out there. Both teams want to win, and the Oilers won. So let's have a beer.
Cheers.
And let's be happy with the fact that the Oilers are now coming back to Edmonton up 3-1, and they have a chance to end this.
They put it themselves into a very good situation. This text comes in. The Juice. I am not reading that. That is so messed up.
Oh, gee.
That is so messed up. And then this one says, Tom, your hair is less superior to Stu's. Admitted on the air. Yes, Stonehands, his hair is better than mine. This one says, best defensive game we've seen this team play. I don't believe we've seen this group find a way to play and win this type of game before. Huge sign of maturity for this team. That's a Stanley Cup win right there, boys. Also, we just witnessed LA giving everything they've got. The Oilers simply just shut it down. Attaboy, Skinner. Love the show, boys. That's from BC Trav. All right. I think we're good for interviews, YouTube, Trev. We're almost at an hour. It's pretty late. We will do the player of the game. I'll give you the player of the game. I'll read it, and then you can do the player of the game if that's all right. I think it's a pretty easy one.
Very easy.
And then we'll read some more text, and then we'll say goodnight because it's Sunday. It's past midnight, and I think everybody has had a long, fun weekend.
100%.
In Edmonton. So let's get into it. It is the Damon Bunting Remax Elite Player of the Game. Damon Bunting, consistent top producing realtor in Greater Edmonton and among Western Canadian Remax realtors. He and his team would love to help you find that right home or make the move from your current home. Of course, community driven, understands what it takes to make a difference in our city. Check him out, DamonBunting.com, or visit his Instagram at Damon Bunting Real Estate. Without further ado, Mr. Shawn Belle, the Damon Bunting Remax Elite Player of the Game is... tough one.
Who could it be?
Who could it be?
Let's go with Stuart Skinner.
Oh, why would you pick Stu Skinner?
Calm, cool, collected, composed.
All those things.
All those things. He stole the game for the Edmonton Oilers. The Oilers didn't have it going 100% offensively. They didn't have 100% their best stuff. But at the end of the day, they played solid defensive hockey. They limited the grade A scoring chances to 4 out of the 33 shots or the 35 shots. Every single coach in the NHL will tell you if at the end of the night, we limited a team to 4 grade A scoring chances off of 33. They are giggling themselves to sleep.
It's going to be an easy flight home for Chris Knobloch.
100%.
Yeah.
Were there mistakes? Yes.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, when you limit a team to 4 grade A scoring chances, you are extremely happy. And then once that they got through that, you had Stuart Skinner sitting on the other side, just eating pucks.
Swallowing them up.
And he was swallowing them up, and he was absolutely fantastic. So that is your player of the game.
Brought to you by Damon Bunting, Remax Elite. Looking to buy a home, maybe sell your place? Check out DamonBunting.com or visit his Instagram, Damon Bunting Real Estate. Our good friend, Damon Bunting. All right, Belzy, let's go around the National Hockey League really quickly, then we'll wrap up with text. We did see our first team eliminated from the 2024 Stanley Cup playoffs. Washington falls 4-2 to the New York Rangers. Any surprises there?
No, not
just straight up. Washington was kind of a surprise to get in.
They were. Their differential was outrageously bad. For usually you don't see teams that are double-digit minus in the differential move on. They did somehow. They played well down the stretch.
Yep.
But at the end of the day, the Rangers were too big. They were too much. They were too skilled. They didn't have it. And sorry, Ovi. We'll see you next year, buddy, for the Gretzky watch.
There you go. The Rangers, of course, President's Trophy champions in the regular season, and the Caps winning out over Philly, Pittsburgh, and Detroit to sneak into that final wild card spot. Also today, the Colorado Avalanche spank the Winnipeg Jets 5-1. Fast-paced game in Denver. I was impressed with Colorado. I didn't think that they gave Winnipeg much either.
No.
And it ends up being a 5-1 game. Winnipeg swept Colorado in the season series, but here we are watching the Jets on the cusp of elimination.
Playoffs are a different beast. They're a different animal. Adjustments are made. You put a ton of time into video to figure out what the opposing team is going to do. And the biggest difference between the two teams is as deep as the Winnipeg Jets lineup is, and as good as I think it is, they don't have an answer for McKinnon and Makar.
Yeah, Makar was brilliant today.
Makar was unbelievable.
That goal
today.
He scored was something else.
You just don't have an answer, and you feel bad for the Jets because you think that if you're not running into Colorado, you might be able to make it. That division is airtight.
Yeah,
it's very, very similar to what's going on here in the Pacific Division. It's airtight once again. A good team's going to go home, and Winnipeg's going to go home. But at the end of the day, it's not from a lack of being a good group and strengthening your team. Unfortunately, you just got to deal with Cale Makar, and you got to deal with Nathan McKinnon.
Yeah, those two absolute beast. Okay, the final game on the schedule outside of the Oilers' 1-0 win over LA was Vancouver. Claws their way back into this game. They were down 3-1 against Nashville. They win it 4-3 in overtime with Arturs Shilovs in net. People already in the nasty chat I saw earlier and on the text line talking about Edmonton, Vancouver. Hold your horses. Edmonton still needs to win another game, and so too does Vancouver. But the fact that the Canucks have managed to go into Nashville and win 2 ultra-tight games.
I was absolutely shocked by that.
Same.
I honestly thought that this could be a 7-game series. Nashville is a very hard team to play against. They come in waves. They don't change how they play. They've got a really good top line followed by 3 lines of what you could call a quote-unquote third line.
Yeah.
But they're almost robotic, right? They don't change. They just wave after wave after wave. They come at you. They don't give anything for free, but somehow the Canucks just keep rolling with the punches. They lose Thatcher Demko. They lose to Smith. Doesn't matter. They just keep playing the right way. And the scary part of it is they don't really have all their horses going yet.
Yeah, that's true. Well, hey, they had Gabriel Landeskog skating publicly.
Well, no, I mean Vancouver.
Oh, Vancouver, pardon me. Sorry,
Vancouver
yes.
doesn't have all their horses yet.
No, that's true.
There's a few guys that are still MIA, and you might need to look at the milk carton because their face might be on there. But if they ever show up, Vancouver's going to be very, very scary.
Okay. There's a couple of texts I want to get to. This one's from Adam and Lloyd. Says, hey, boys, how do you think the NHL views the inconsistency in officiating game to game? I'm not complaining about the game tonight at all, but it was one extreme to the next last game compared to this game. Have one for me, boys. I'm off to bed. Mix in a water. Adam from Lloyd, what would you tell him about the
Do you want my honest opinion on that?
Yeah, I do.
I think that the refs, it's too fast for them. And I'm not saying that. I'm not saying it to rip the refs.
Okay.
I'm saying it that hockey is so fast, and there's so many things that happen within a game that it's hard to keep track of everything that's going on. There's stuff away from the play. There's stuff right in the middle of the play, and these guys are skating faster than they ever have. I think it's extremely hard for refs to keep up.
Right.
I've completely changed a new leaf. Normally, I would have ripped these refs, but I'm trying to really truly be unbiased about it, and I just think it's too fast. And so you miss stuff.
It is a fast game.
You miss stuff. And part of it, too, is the fact that, hey, in the playoffs, we all know that they put the whistle away.
We saw that tonight.
You saw it tonight, and I get the frustration because there's calls where it's like, okay, Kulak gets a penalty, and then the next play was the exact same call that just got called,
but
and you're like, well, why didn't it happen?
Right.
And I honestly think that the play is too fast for these refs, and that's not a shot in any way, shape, or form towards the referees because I actually think they do a pretty good job. They're trying to let these guys play, but at the same time, when you have all these guys ripping around, like, what do you want? Like,
that's why I knew you'd have a good answer for that. That's why
hard.
I asked it.
I don't know how to justify it. You can't justify it because I'm just as frustrated as everybody else. But at the end of the day, like, I don't know.
That's the bottom line. All right. No, that was a good answer. I like that.
It's the best answer I can get, and it's not going to appease everybody, but honestly, you try to keep up.
I couldn't. No chance. Millwood's Matt says, is Game 5 really not until Wednesday? That is correct. 2 days between games. The Oilers will stay overnight in LA. We'll have an availability tomorrow at the team hotel and then fly back to Edmonton. We'll catch up with them Tuesday at the arena. Brandon says, I shaved my beard into the playoff stew stash today. Is the shutout a coincidence? I think not. Jason says, cut the show, get on your bike, go to Greta. No.
No.
Gotta go home. This one says, first game I ever saw Stu play was at the Young Stars tourney in Penticton. He got a shutout. As you may remember, Tommy, pretty sure I saw you there. Sparky Kev. Yes, I was definitely there. And this one says, was that the most mature playoff win of the McDry era?
100%. Hands down, 100%.
I'm with you on that. Okay, we're going to wrap it up. I just want to get your final thoughts going into Wednesday's Game 5. I know you've said go in there, use the energy. The building's going to be rocking. The city's going to be pumped up. Hopefully it's a beautiful day. I know the weather's not supposed to be great, but there's going to be a good vibe around there.
Weather fans, the media says that you are the third loudest city currently in the playoffs.
That's pretty good.
Prove them wrong.
Vegas is crazy. Nashville can be
Canadian
good.
City.
Third loudest
Third
Canadian?
loudest Canadian city.
Really?
People say that Vancouver's better.
Oh, my goodness.
People say that Winnipeg's better.
Are you challenging your hometown?
Prove them wrong.
Wow, you're challenging our hometown?
I'm not challenging anybody.
You're just saying what was told.
People are saying that.
Okay. If you're the Oilers going into Wednesday, what has to be the mindset? What do you expect?
I would like to see the Oilers come out and use that first 10 to dictate the pace of play. Once again, we didn't have our best stuff, but now we're coming back home. And we want to close this game out in 5. We do not want to go back down to LA. We do not want to give them any glimmer of hope. So we need to shut this down, and you got to come out. You got to dictate your pace of play. You got to make sure that you're not taking penalties. You got to be stingy defensively like you were today, but you're going to have to get clicking on the offensive side, because right now, and I think DB mentioned it earlier, is that from a 5-on-5 perspective, it's 10-10.
Yeah. Yeah, it is.
Can't be 10-10 at the end of the game on Wednesday.
Well said.
You're gonna have to,
well said.
You need to get some 5-on-5 goals. You need to feel good about being able to score goals 5-on-5.
Yep.
Moving on in the playoffs. Can't just be win or die or win or lose on the power play every single time, which is okay for this series. But moving on down,
get the 5-on-5 going.
You need to get the 5-on-5 rolling. You need to score 5-on-5. And once again, Oiler fans, some people are saying that you're the third loudest Canadian city.
Wow.
Prove them wrong.
Wow. All right, that's going to do it for the Oil Street postgame show, brought to you by GCL Diesel. Absolutely fantastic show tonight. Great energy from all of our viewers and our listeners. A big 1-0 win in LA. The Oilers sweep the games in Hollywood to take a 3-1 stranglehold of this series, bringing it back for Game 5 on Wednesday. Can they get the job done? We've got 2 days to talk about it. The Nielsen Show at 6 a.m. with Lieutenant Eric. The boys will be ready to go. They'll have all the goal songs as well. Belsey, fantastic work. What do you got? Oh, there we go. All right, for Shawn Belle and you too, Trev. I'm Tom Gazzola saying thanks for tuning in. Have yourselves a lovely night. We'll see you tomorrow.